Content disclaimer. The views expressed in this video are solely those of the host, collaborator, and contributor and do not necessarily represent the views of Royal Productions OWC LLC. We encourage diverse perspectives and open dialogue. If you have any concerns, please contact us at info@royalproductionsowc.com. Thank you for being a part of the RPOWC community. Greetings, Galaxians. Welcome to the Hybrid Files and another episode about the commodified American. This is episode 5, and this one's called The Commodification of the Human Body. I wonder, do you know how much your kidney is? How about your liver? Do you know how much these cost as a pair? Do you know how much your stomach costs? How about your skin? How about the melanin that is the pigmentation of mind? How much do you think that costs? Well, we're going to get into that today. We're going to explore how the commodification of the human body affects your psyche with all the language in the society that we use to live our daily lives. So, I don't know about you, but once you reduce a human being to a thing to be sold, it not only affects their psyche, but it also affects your psyche as well. And how you go about your daily life picking out products that are sold to you as solutions. This includes the human body. I just need a kidney. Nothing wrong with that. I love the altruistic nature of organ donation. But our infrastructure is getting quite shaky. Shady even. I don't know what we're going to do. But as the ship goes down and everything is aflame, I wonder how you're supposed to sell yourself now. Is everything up for grabs? Is your content of character, your integrity? How about just a body part? A finger? An elbow? How about the whole darn thing? How about split apart? What do you think that does to your psyche when your society reflects a store's message? You must always be selling and you must always be buying. And your product must always be top tier. The description, the display, the PR, the advertising. You must always be for sale. If you're not for sale, you have no value. If you can't contribute something that someone else individually or as a group can benefit from, you have no value. Your very existence is just not enough. You need to put purpose and motivation behind your breathing. So the cost of a kidney is $262,000. The cost of a liver is $557,000. A pair of eyeballs is $1,500, give or take, for the pair. It means maybe 600, 700, 750 per eye. Yes, yes. How about the cost of skin? Because they do it per inch, you know. It's $10 per inch of skin. Oh, and that melanin, that dastardly, darkly, that menacing, oh, such a terrible reputation unless you want to use it in food ingredients. $435 per gram. I thought nobody liked melanin, but apparently I was wrong. But anyway, I would like to address something that I see, which is commodification everywhere. And this also is commodification. Do you know that you possibly can edit the type of child you get? You can be in a buyer's mindset and literally control what type of child you get in this world. Yes, it's called gene editing. That is a commodity. Did you not know? Because babies are here for us. We're not there for them. I don't know where you got that twisted. If I say I want a baby, that's for me. That's not for the child. That's for me. They need to be grateful that we give them breath. Yeah. Yes. So, how about the ability to buy a child? Oh, the reasons a buyer has to buy a child, because you're buying a child. I don't care what the nomenclature is, what the market says it is, adoption, this, that, and the other. Money is exchanged for a human being in a baby phase, because that's what they are technically. But I know we like to be deluded about it and say, call them their baby, like they're going to stay that way. They're not puppies, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. They're not puppies, even though we rehome them like they're puppies, like they're pets that just didn't meet the muster. We're going to talk about that in the next episode. Uh, but you best believe it takes a mindset of buying, of consumerism, to actually think you can put in an order for a child and get exactly what you pay for. I can get what I pay for, right? You can get what you pay for, because that's the conditioning of the American mindset. I want it. I have the money for it. I should be able to buy it. I have it. I want money for it. I should be able to sell it. That's a mindset. It conditions your psyche as to what you are to expect and how you expect people to show up in your life. They need to provide product, a product that you want, a product that you like. It affects relationships. It affects how you see the individual in front of you. It affects whether you're going to be kind or not, whether you're going to rescind some overarching, unspoken kindness that some belief system says you should offer. But in this American system, it's based on a condition of, can I buy it or sell it? What type of monetary or implicit value that I define that's very subjective am I going to get from this? What am I going to get out of this? Everything is reduced to a transaction, including uh, the acquiring, adopting of children, because babies weren't what I thought they were. I thought they were, right? I thought they were this. I thought it was, oh, cute, 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 cute. I didn't know about the other stuff, or I ignored what everybody told me. I said I would be different. And then once foot meets road, or rubber meets the road, everything is different, because everything is real now. It's not just something in my head that's living as an idea. It's actually in my face, demanding of me that I act, interact, engage. Because what do babies have as a defense mechanism? A cry. That's it. Just a cry. Different cries, because they don't know how to vocalize with words of the language that they're born into. They don't know how to do that yet. They know how to cry. That's that's what they know how to do. Yeah. with their human body that they've come in this world with. Very, very fragile machine, by the way, especially in the baby phase. There's really nothing that you can do in your baby phase, but accept the shit that you get. Not when I say shit, I do mean shit. Accept the shit that you get, because what else are you going to do? Cry? Yes, that's about it. You're going to cry. You have no other defense mechanism except to fucking cry that literally goes high pitched. You might deafen somebody, but not really. Not really. Right? So if all of my body parts have a price tag, what do you think something else has a price tag? The language in which we try and live our lives to give ourselves shelter and food. Hey, are you able to sell yourself? That's what you get told. Branding. I'm not a fucking product, but if you want to participate, you have to change your mindset and see yourself as a product. Put all of your worldly possessions into a trust, a fictitious financial vehicle made up, even though you are in possession of it. But unfortunately, we as Americans aren't conditioned to be uh, skilled at exercising possession of a thing. It gets quite what I would say very sticky, very dangerous, very risky to exercise physical possession over a thing that you own. Guess what? You also have to exercise a frenetic type of possession over your own physical body for people who point at you and say, hey, I would like to use your body for my own purposes, whether you agree with it or not. Because my American conditioned mindset, if I point to it, I get to have it. Hence the exercising of possession, because it's an exercise. It's not an exercise if nobody literally wants to possess anything that you have, then it's no exercise at all. You just are in possession of it. But if they want what you have, what they perceive you to have, then they're going to apply the American commodified mindset that I'm going to try and get what you possess. I'm going to create. Sometimes you get real creative. Some people are very creative about the systems they can convince people to participate in so that what they possess is not, they can't even exercise possession over it. If the law comes and exercise possession over your house, your land, your person, your animals, your air and water, well, air. That's a different conversation. But water, food, street, everything, car, money, jewelry, children, everything. They can exercise possession of that, meaning they will physically come and wrench that stuff from you according to the laws that we agreed to follow. Because in a society, their laws control people. They're there to control people, or the ideal is for law to control people. Not law doesn't necessarily is effective like that. It's just once you get to court and you seek a remedy, right? A remedy, uh, you can employ a middle person, the law, to enforce the law and have whatever you want to get it. Eminent domain is through law, and they enforce it with law enforcement, which is what? A physical exercise of possession. I shall render this to my possession, to my physical domain, and bar you from having possession any longer. That is an exercise in possession. Possession has nothing just to do with Amityville horror and the physical taking of the body from a demon or whatever. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about earthly possessing in someone taking that from you. And you put that dot on there, change your mind, didn't go through a process. You think, oh, I changed my mind. But when you live in a society, oh boy, yeah, there's a process to changing your mind. Your mind changing is no longer just a matter of I change my mind. Whatever commitments you engaged in now, you know, some things are up for for possession. I get, those who feel wrong may feel entitled to what you possess. So, um, yeah, you do not own your body in American society like you think you do, um, if they can exercise possession over it for whatever creative, you know, way you do it. I'm not talking about the agreement or the disagreement of that as an existence. I'm talking about, hey, those who does not don't necessarily want to engage in a fisticuff to exercise possession over what you have, they will mind fuck you into participating in a very elaborate, expansive scheme on how, hey, just because you changed your mind about something, it's not that simple. You put a pink dot on that driver's license, didn't tell anybody or go through the process. I no longer want to do this. Guess what? Too tough tits. Your family is just going to have to deal because we're taking these organs. We're going to exercise possession over this body. Whether you like it or not, whether the family is against it and he talked to you, but nobody went through the societal protocols, the process, put in paperwork to change anything, and you got sick before anything was done, and now you are at a very traumatic crossroads in your life experience where you're dealing with people who see themselves as uh, perfectly within their right because of law that they can exercise possession over your human body. You need to make sure you want to put a pink dot on your driver's license. Don't get all in your feelings and say, I want to be a good person. And yeah, because you change your mind and don't do anything. You just change your mind because people like to exercise the feeling of freedom when they're not really free. If you got to go through a process, you got to go through a process to basically do something that if the process wasn't in existence, you could just change your mind. I'm not doing that. And that's the end of it. Yeah. It's been a very slow moving separation of your ability to exercise anything about this without going through a process. They tricked you into that shit. Yeah. They say they really mind fucked you in your ear and with your I said don't believe what your eyes see, ignore all of that and just accept what we say because this can't work unless you participate, unless you agree with this. This doesn't work. Hint, hint. This doesn't work without your participation and consent. This does not work. The system does not work. It does not work without your participation and consent. You literally have to opt out of this shit. Like Swedish women opted out of working the next day saying, bitch, better pay, where's my money? That type of opting out. Like, I will stop this fucking nation unless I get what I am due. That type of uh that type of you know, rescinding of your consent and stopping your participation. You're gonna fucking give up your addiction to convenience and comfort. Gonna do that? Nah. Americans will not do that. I don't care what you tell them. Do you not know how hard it is to give up comfort and convenience? We literally live off middleman culture. It's a middleman culture. Oh, who shall I get to give me my food? Oh, I thought this society wanted you to pick yourself up by your bootstraps. I think that's what we were doing as farmers, with the exception of people who look like me. We got hoodwinked. We got bamboozled. We got taken because consumer mindset says, I see it, I want it, therefore I shall exercise possession over it. Isn't that how we got over here? Somebody exercise possession? Yeah, somebody exercise possession. Now, I know that there's different theories going on out here, how we ended up here, and that's fine. I think most of them are true because human beings just don't do one thing. That's an illusion of our messed up education system, that everything happens in a straight line. It does not. At the very same time I am talking to you, there is something bad happening to somebody else right at this point in time in the clock. There's something good happening to somebody else at the same point in time on this clock. There is no straight lines. When you talk about a thing, that's an illusion. The storytelling mindset, how we receive information, that A-frame of I forget what it's called. There's like a denouement is the after, the apex of the climax of the story, and then there's the buildup. I just know it as the buildup. I got some other highfalutin bougie ass word to call what this is. But there's the buildup, and then there's the apex, and then there's this. And this is how we think everything works, because this is how storytelling in America happens. We don't have the skill set to kind of spider stories and have people understand what they're talking about, because the conditioning is you want a buyer culture and you want a seller culture, and that A to B doesn't allow, that conditioning doesn't allow for spidered expanse, if you want a word, the way spiders spin webs, the way a snowflake is made, the way things in nature just uh, project stuff out to create a type of infrastructure. We're not taught that to think that way. We're taught to do A to B, straight line thinking, very myopic, very narrow. If it's not this, how can I think of it as this as well, and this as well, and this as well? No, it's just this thing. Don't think about anything else, just this thing. Okay. That doesn't work in the real world outside of the American bubble. It doesn't work. But again, I put it to you in the comments. Maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. Maybe I'm seeing things. You counter me. Tell me. Give me sources. Please don't give me anecdotes. I respect your experiences, but if your experience, anecdotal experience, does not have an overarching effect on 8 billion people, I have to respectfully reject that as proof of what your point is, or that your point is proven. I need the the statistical data. I need real research, the research that people have literally dedicated their lives to in anthropology, archaeology, sociology, psychology, psychiatry, group dynamics, spyology, which really kind of taps into the dark parts of being a human being, which we are, as a American society, it gets really goofy and skewed and twisted through the lens of religion and spirituality. We kind of don't know how to see ourselves without that, and we don't know how to accept ourselves just as is. Like we accept the fact that a lion is a lion, don't fuck with it, that a bear is a bear, don't fuck with it, that a crocodile and an alligators are what they are, don't fuck with it. Like the animals in the animal kingdom are accepted for what they are, good and bad, but we can't accept ourselves that way. Somehow we have to be over and above instead of navigating what is and seeing how it fits into nature and then respecting that. And that from that, we get how we move with each other and ourselves in a real society, not a projected, full of delusion and illusion society. Because American is not a real, it's not based on anything real. It's based on manufactured stuff. Everything is run by advertising of a thing. The space program is an advertisement of a thing. You have to really sell it to the public, so you don't get to see anything real about the space program unless you are of a curious type, quote unquote nerd, and that's like in the 80s it was vilified. Like you don't want to be a nerd. It's social suicide to be a nerd, whatever. And so you get told this is what it is. You get told. You don't get the real presentation, because to be an American is to accept what is not real and how it works for you in a society. Don't worry about how you get your food. We'll provide that for you. Don't worry about how you get your house. We'll provide that for you. Don't worry about how you get your clothing. We'll provide that for you. Don't worry about that. But at the same time, we got the rhetoric, why don't you pull yourself up by the bootstraps? Well, if I did that, you wouldn't be able to sell shit to me because I know how it works. I rely on myself. Why should I rely on you? This is a middleman paradise. It's a middleman's paradise. And unfortunately, you have to become a middleman in order to get the fuck out of it. Isn't that ironic? You have to either be an employee, or you have to get licensed to do something, or you have to find some entity that will give you some type of purpose in order to, fit here in an unreal place. It's not a real place. It is a fictional place that you have been forced to put your real self in. And it's not asked that you actually present your real self, is that you always have your representative on deck. And then people wonder why relationships don't work. People wonder why families don't work. People wonder why employee-employee relationships don't work. They don't work. If you cannot be honest about what is and what is not, you will never have a real relationship. It will always be performative. I don't care what your role is, uh, family, blood, chosen, professional, societal, neighbor, whatever. It'll never be what a human being thrives and human flourishing actually occurs through. Human flourishing occurs when there is a real revelation of what is and what is not a dream or an ideal or a wish, but what really is. What really is it about a human being is that there is darkness, there is light, and there is gray shit in between those two things. Like it's not two clean halves. The devil and the angel, that's an illusion. We're a gumbo of dark and light, a gumbo of dark, very opaque. You literally have to stir and pull and go, what is that? Okay, I think that's a crab leg. No, is that a sausage? What is this? What is that? Like you have to like dig in, you have to do work to find out who you are. You come in whole and complete. I guarantee you come in whole and complete. But once you land here, the lies start happening. You're not whole and complete. You're not whole and complete. You're not whole and complete. In fact, some religions say you come in wrong. You're born wrong. Oh, okay. Well, that's not helpful. Then why don't I just get the fuck out? If I'm born wrong, what the point is this? To do what? Born wrong to do what? To do what? What is the purpose of being born wrong? If you're born wrong, what's the point of living wrong? if you're always going to be wrong? What does the exercise of that do? To inform an entity that what? That you're wrong? An entity already knows that you're wrong, so why penalize you for being wrong? It doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. I'm not gonna get into a whole debate about what it's supposed to be or what it's not to be. I'm going for the earthly logic of, hey, if we're born wrong, why are we still here? Which means that's a lie, in my opinion. We're not born wrong. We're born whole and complete, and we're actually getting messages that's just no, 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 no. Because if you think from a villain and a con artist mindset, I can't have you whole and complete. I can't pimp you out. I can't use you. I can't do any of the things. If you were truly and in fact uh self-sufficient and could had the ability to pick yourself up by the bootstraps all the goddamn time, America would not be what it is. It would have been a different place because it would literally be the mindset would be self-reliance and self-determination, but it is not. It is not self-reliance. It is not self-determination. Because if it was self-reliance and self-determination, we wouldn't have grocery stores. We'd have every house would have an ability to have their own yard with food on it, and that would not be regulated away. That would be seen as a right as a human being. I have a right to housing. I have a right to collective health care. I have a right to good education, and I have a right to land in which I can cultivate the way I want. I'm not even going to get into the nomadic stuff because I mean, I don't, you know, homeless people are nomadic at this point, but they're homeless in an unnatural environment. Right? They're homeless in a concrete jungle as opposed to an actual jungle where there's actual food. And you once you learn the animals are consistent in who and what they are, and you pick up the sharp mindset, okay, I need to be mindful of this. This is the way they do it, blah, 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 blah. Right? This is the way you have to navigate this environment. Actually sharpens your brain, but no. Sharp-brained individuals do not work in an delusional store. It does not work in a store. A store is for the selling and buying of things, and America is a store. You are the product. You are not a human being in America. You are a product. And that's why you get the psychological mindsets that you do and people acting though, because they're actually trying to reconcile the big illogical mind fuck of if I am a thing and I am of value because I am a thing, why can I not ascend this unreal triangle to get to the top so I can have what I'm looking to have? And the reason why it doesn't work is because it is artificial, it is rigged. You can't have this society without a uh, a lower class population. You cannot. You need people who cannot ascend the pyramid. Point blank. That's what you need. We need to literally get out of our thumb sucking, self-soothing mindset and just understand you cannot have an American society without a lower class, without a permanent underclass, without someone who can be stepped on to get to the next rung. You cannot have that. And it's illusion if you think you're the one that's going to get out of that when it is rigged for you to always be there. You get ahead not because of altruistic or meritocracy. You get there because there's somebody up here who sees you as a beneficial product and will bring you up into their tier just so that they can use you. They do all the mind fucking that you need to believe so that you could believe it's something else, but it's just a mind fuck at the end of the day. They're not going to let you ascend past them. That's not going to happen. because at the end of the day, what is consistent is the human nature. Now it's all twisted and skewed and fucked up because we're literally fish thinking we should walk and breathe air instead of being in water, swimming around with ease. We think we should climb, and we're fish. And we're wondering why we have all these issues psychologically because we're not in our natural habitat. We're not behaving or allowing ourselves to be what we are and basically build a society out of that. Not a society based on fear, but a society that literally has individuals who can self-sustain, who can be self-reliant, but also has a safety net around the ones who are not able to do that. And the number would actually decrease. It's not the fact that there's so many is literally a reaction to the unnaturalness of our model of a country. The fact that there's so many homeless people, the fact that there's many people being put into the underclass, that's not them. That is the model in which they're operating in. It is a broken model. It is an unnatural model. It doesn't work for human beings. The American model does not work for human beings. It works for widgets, works for cars and buildings. Shoot, it even works for ideas, but as long as you never test the idea, yeah, you can buy and sell any kind of idea you want. As long as you never test it. But I don't know. You tell me how wrong I am. I'm looking for that. But remember, it can't just be anecdotal. I appreciate your experiences, but it has to be something that overarchingly can be looked at through sources that it's affecting the 8 billion people, not just a small percentage, not a finite percentage, meaning of a significant count, but not of a small account, but not of a significant account. But that's where I'm going to end this today. Remember to share, and subscribe, subscribe, and share, and comment, share, subscribe. I hope I got all of those in there in the order that makes sense to you. Yes. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode called The Commodification of the Human Body. Next up, episode 6, Commodification of Babies, Birth and Babies. Babies and birthing. Birthing and babies. Yes, that's a commodification, believe it or not. See you next time. Happy Galaxy.